Hi, we're here today to talk about how to use Uptycs to install osquery on your macOS or OS X computer. You'll need several tools to do this. First off, obviously, you'll need an Uptycs installation and login in your browser of choice to access it. You'll also need a text editor and to use the Terminal and Finder applications in macOS. If you haven't used Terminal before, the easiest way to find it is the Spotlight search function. You can hit the Command button and space bar and then type in Terminal and hit enter, and that should pull up a terminal window that looks something like this. Don't worry if the colors are slightly different. This happens just to be the way I have it set on my system. We'll come back to using the terminal later. So first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to log into Uptycs. So I'm logging into my demo installation right now, and if you look at what I have right here in my current assets under management, you'll see that these are all Linux boxes. So my goal for this demonstration is to join the Mac computer that I'm currently recording this on to this Uptycs installation. So to do this, we're going to go to the Configuration tab, and there we can download asset packages. If we select package type, you'll see all the various different types of packages that you can download that are supported by Uptycs. Currently, we're just going to use the one for macOS right now. So I'm going to select this. I'm going to hit download. When I hit download, we're going to automatically generate a zip file that will be downloaded to my machine, and you will see a screen of instructions. Unfortunately, at this time, to finalize the install for macOS, we have to run one manual step, which is why you have the instruction screen and why I'm going to use a text editor to customize that. So I'm going to go ahead and click this, and you'll see that the download should happen in a moment here, and it comes down very quickly. And we have a few instructions here. So we're going to basically check our downloads folder to make sure that we have the file that just downloaded. We're going to double click that, and it's going to create a folder. And then using that terminal window, we're going to run some commands. I'm going to copy this last command into my text editor so I can customize it. I'm currently using TextEdit, which is also built into macOS, but this will work in any text editor of your choice. So right now we've got that. You can also leave these instructions up in the Uptycs web window as long as you need, and then close them and come back to it when we're done. It won't affect the operation. So I'm going to look at my download here. I'm going to show this in my Finder window, and you're going to see here is the file that we downloaded. And if you go back to the instructions, the next step is using Finder, double click on the zip file to create this particular folder. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. This is Finder, and I'm going to double click this. And a moment later, you'll see that now we have a folder. There is a package file in here. Do not click or install this one. This is what we're going to use in our build process. So going back to the instructions, we want to run some commands in a terminal window. So cd downloads. So I'm just going to type that one in. And if you haven't used terminal before, the commands here are case sensitive. So this D needs to be a capital D. And if I type in ls, which is not in the instructions, but just lists files, I will see that I have the same files here, and those same files are also listed here in the command window. So now I'm going to pull up my text editor, and what I want to do is I want to use find and replace, or you could just type it all in manually. I'm going to use the find and replace function in TextEdit. So I'm going to hit Command F, and version is already highlighted because I've done this before, but you would type in or select this snippet that you want to replace, and then you want to replace it. And you're going to replace it with this version number 2.10.1. This is pulled from the version here that you downloaded. Realize that if you do this in the future, this may be a different number. So make sure you're entering in the number that you see on your screen, not what I'm typing on mine. So I'm going to replace all instances of that. So I now have this script with the appropriate version number, and I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go back to my terminal window, and I'm going to paste it. And again, making sure that the version number we've got here in the script matches the version number that's here in the files. I'm going to hit enter. And if I did this right, you'll see a couple package build command runs, and it'll say route to package Uptycs osquery pkg.pkg. So if we go back to our Finder window, we'll now see that there is a new package that is in the same level as the zip file. This is what we want to run as our installer. So I'm going to double click this, and you will see a standard macOS installer wizard come up. You will probably get challenged for credentials when you go through this step. When you get to that point, make sure that you put in whatever the credentials are appropriate for your user login on your machine, not what you see on mine. So there we go. Okay, and it's that simple. Already you have a package that is online and talking to the Uptycs installation. If you have a firewall on your macOS machine, such as Little Snitch, at this last point when the installation concludes, you will probably see a pop-up from your outbound firewall stating that osquery is trying to talk to Uptycs. You will need to put a role in your firewall to allow this. This is obviously dependent on whatever software you're using. If you have any questions, please contact us. But as of right now, already, the package is installed and already sending data up to Uptycs. So I'm going to close this out. I'm not necessarily going to keep the installer. You can if you want to. And then I'm going to go back to Uptycs. We're going to close out this window that had the instructions in it. We're going to go back to the assets, and we're going to see now that we have a machine online. This is the one I just installed in. Again, it's that quick, that is already up and speaking to Uptycs. So in the course of this demo here, we've basically used Uptycs plus a couple built-in tools in macOS. We went into configuration. We downloaded an asset package specifically for macOS. Once we downloaded that package, we double-clicked on the zip file to get a new set of directories. We copied the instructions that were on the download prompt here and customized them. And we ran those in a command window. Once we ran them in the command window, the new package appeared, which unfortunately I've deleted. We ran that and it got installed to Uptycs. So we're sorry about these additional manual steps. We hope in a new version of Uptycs in the near future to have them out of here. But realistically, as you can see, this took maybe a total of 3 minutes to get up and running. We thank you for your time, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us. Thank you very much.